Hello out there, viewers. This is the day the Lord has made, and we shall be glad and rejoice. This is another day, another season on Spiritual Rhapsodies. My name has not changed. My name is Elvon, Jarrett, and I welcome you to Afrocentric Television Spiritual Rhapsodies. Today in the house, I have a distinguished, wonderful young man. He's a man I've followed from a long time ago. He's one we saw growing up, and today he is a man in his own status. Please welcome Damilola Mike Bamiloye. He's a writer, a director, a producer, and a trainer. Damilola, am I right if I introduce you like that?
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Guys, let me warn you, Damilola has this great humility around him. Above all, he's a child of God, a son of a king, and he's, of course, to those who do not know, he's a gospel drama minister, a filmmaker with a gospel bias. So Damilola, I want to ask you, when did you decide that you were going to go into the film and drama ministry?
Okay, thank you so much for welcoming me, sir. I would say it's something I was born into. You know, when you are born into an environment where everybody is, you know, doing a particular thing, you tend to dive into that aspect. But when I actually got the calling was at the age of 13. It was then I actually knew that this is not just me doing this because my parents are doing it, but because God wants me to do this, because God has called me to do it. You know, so for me, writing is not just about writing because I just want to express my gifts or I just want to express my talent. It's more of writing because, you know, God has a message to pass across to the world, and He needs me to package His message in a dramatic form for people out there to catch. You know, so since I was small, I've been following you and Daddy, and see the way you direct and see the way Daddy, you know, and I was always falling in love. I remember when I was very little that the days of Just a Little Sin, Fruitless Tree, and you be telling me you're telling Daddy your son is still here. He has school tomorrow, and Daddy would be like, Daddy, go to your room, go to your room, go to your room. I would be so sad, no, because I just enjoyed the environment. So those days are days that I just fell in love with the whole thing. It wasn't a calling, it was just because of my environment at that time. Then as I, you know, grew into it at the age of 13, that was the age I received it. I knew that this is not just more than something you do because everybody's doing, but this is something God has actually called me to do. At that point that the gift was reformed. And it's not just something I just, you know, just write.
Yes. Yeah. So what you would say is that because of the environment which you lived in,
it influenced me big.
It reflected your building up. Thank God you did not grow up in the robbers' den. Thank God you did not grow up where they were pushing cocaine and yeah. Because I've seen a lot of people, but how come, you know, I've seen a lot of people whose parents are pastors, but they don't want to be pastors.
That was the grace of God. It's the grace of God, because truthfully, you know, when you consider the sacrifice, and you see the sacrifice that your parents took, or the sacrifice that they passed through, the fire they passed through, you don't want to pass through that experience. You know, when you experience because we actually experience it together. You know, the times, the wilderness experience. The times when it's not all rosy. You see your friends and you see what they are passing through, and everything is so easy for them. But when you get home, it's always about faith. It's always about, Mommy, I want to get this. Don't worry, we'll get it by faith. It's always about faith and everything. So you may not want to experience that thing. But I think the arresting point for me was knowing that at the end of the day, this is just the best life to live. You know, knowing that at the end of the day, when God calls you and you completely yield to Him, it's always, when you're living for yourself, you're not blessing anyone. You're just on your own. But when you're living for multitudes of people, when whatever you pass through, no matter how bad it is, no matter how difficult it is because God is preparing you to build thousands of people, and preparation is different. For someone who is not going through, who is not passing through anything, like people who are not called into full time, who are just, well, people are not, they are just living
called into ministry.
No, called into ministry.
Right.
They live for themselves and themselves alone. So they don't have any special preparation like we, that God has prepared for something big, and God is building us for ministry. He makes us pass through a journey that is different from theirs. You know, so when you realize that this is not just about you, it's about the world. God is preparing for a bigger stage. That's where my understanding, you know, was enlarged. My understanding was bigger. I realized that, okay, this process, all this process of the wilderness experience, the times of lack, everything is because God is actually preparing me for a bigger stage.
Yeah, so, and you see some of that preparation coming and unfolding now.
And I'm seeing the results now. I'm seeing now, like, now it's even better now.
It's better now.
So people who are there actually...
Yeah, no, because right now you have about how many people on your YouTube channel?
Right now it's 79 or so, 79,000.
About 79,000 on your YouTube channel. You have on Instagram, people are following you. You know, good. So a lot of people don't know the story behind what is happening.
Exactly.
Now, I want to ask you about your writing skills.
Yes.
You know, how did you develop writing? Were you someone who loved writing, or was just because you were inspired because you saw Daddy was writing and that's why you started writing, or how did you take up writing?
So, like I said earlier, you know, okay, Daddy told me that I've been writing since I was really, really little, but I can't remember. But when I really remembered writing was, you know, when I was very young, and let's say the age of 8 years, you know, I wanted to write exactly like that. So I take his script and I write almost word for word. And sometimes I copy his story and I just change little things. And I show him, he reads it, he likes it, you know. Sometimes I get a character in the Bible and try to write like this. But the passion has always been there.
So wait a minute. So you started by walking in
his footsteps.
In your father's footsteps.
Exactly.
You would take his script and come right for it.
I remember writing Fruitless Tree all over again.
Wow.
I remember very well. I just remember now. You know, taking the story of Fruitless Tree.
And just
scene one, writing it, trying to copy exactly how it was. You know, so that was how it started.
That was like a seed that was sown. Yeah.
So gradually it was reforming. Then I realized that then something happened one day. You know, I suddenly just realized that, okay, I thought, you know, it was during these growing years of my growing years, during the time, being a teenager and everything, I just wanted to just explore and do other things. You know, I thought writing was just for kids and everything. So I wanted to do different things. Then I was told to write a story. I said, writing a Christian film is childish. That's what I thought growing up, you know, as a teenager. So I decided to write something secular.
So you mean when you got to the teenage age?
Yeah, that was what
there was an age. There was a time of maybe distraction, a time of wanting to rebel from what was going on in the norm, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I wanted to do my own thing. I wanted to do something a little secular.
Yeah.
I wanted to go secular, the secular routes. The inspiration wasn't coming, so what I decided to do was to copy a story, secular film and everything. So I wrote the script and everything, and I showed Mom, and she was so sad. And she told me, Dami, you are a kind of person that you create your own stories. God gives you inspiration and you write revelational stories. When did you turn to someone who now begin to write stories, copying other secular stories? But God has something, a lot He wants to show you. So the words were too much and everything. Then I decided to pray about it, and I realized my first scripts, everything was just different. That was when, it was at that point that I started writing Youthful Lusts. And it started growing gradually.
So one of the things you could point out was that you had a relationship.
Yes.
Not with your parents. They were so close with your parents.
Yes.
And above all, you had a relationship with the God of your parents.
Oh, yes.
And with Jesus Christ. Yes. So that was why you were able to.
Truthfully, Jesus actually made the difference. God made the difference, you know, because I know the difference when I try to write a script that is from my own understanding, from my own perspective. It's not always, I'm not always successful in it. But when I kind of just release out to God and allow Him to inspire me, I know that the difference is always clear.
How do you do that?
First of all, you know, inspiration, God releases inspiration through different means.
Yeah.
Now, ultimately, it's all for His glory.
So can you just tell me how you get inspiration to write your script? Because there are some of films you did like Land of Fury.
Yeah.
Some of them you have quite a number of
Yes.
stories that you have done.
Yeah.
You could check it out on YouTube. Bemi. I think you have Bemi. You have Family Next Door series.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said earlier, God releases inspiration through different means. For Youthful Loss, for example.
That was your first.
That was like my first major film production. So for Youthful Lost, I went through some experience as a youth, as a teenager. The rebellious stage where I wanted to just explore my own, and I followed bad friends, and I was almost got influenced, and God discovered me. That process, that experience, God inspired a story from it. So that was where I could write from a teenager's perspective.
About the challenges.
That teenagers are going through. That was Youthful Lost. So for Land of Fury, it's a different experience on its own. I just keep hearing about this kidnapping, Boko Haram, everything, and I ask myself sometimes that God should have a message to give to the nation. It was then God just inspired me. I was like, okay, yes, of course I have a message, but if you don't...
So wait, you see the films you make as not just for entertainment?
No, at all.
Yeah, you don't see it as mainly producing and doing films so that people should have a nice time, right? You see films more as messages.
Yeah. I said earlier, God has a message, and so He uses the filmmaking as a medium through which He passes His message to the world. So me seeing that just entertainment is cutting off the aspect of God having a message in the first place. So that if it's just entertainment, then it's my message. It's no more God's message.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's entertainment, that is evangelism and entertainment fused together, so just shows that God has a message in itself. So He wants to pass that message across to the world. So He uses your gift, your writing skills, to package this message for the world to receive. So Land of Fury was just a different experience entirely. It was getting so rampant, different things happening, terrible things happening, the kidnapping in Nigeria and everything. And that was how God, the inspiration just came for Land of Fury. I remember just sitting down and I was thinking to myself. Then a brother from the north, it was in Mozambique Institute of Drama, and it was the last day. Daddy was praying, Daddy was just talking there, and Daddy was saying that we drama ministers are supposed to be the solutions to the political problems
of the nation.
That God can use our gifts to talk to the government, to talk to the politics, to talk. Daddy was just talking.
So you were stirred up.
Exactly.
So for a drama minister, the writer can get inspiration from church, can get inspiration from his pastor, can get inspiration from anybody that says anything. Just one word.
Just one word can
inspire. So it was basically at that meeting that your spirit got stirred up.
I was so stirred up.
And when you got stirred up, what was the result? What did you do?
The brother was from the north.
Right.
The north, this thing is rampant, the kidnapping and the Boko Haram and everything. So as I was so disturbed, I was thinking to myself, the brother just walked up to me. I didn't discuss this thing at all with him.
Yeah.
Brother colleague he acted the major part actually in the scenario. He called me and said, Dami, when are you going to produce a film for the northerners?
Wow, that was a catalyst.
The exact point Dad was talking. The exact point he was ministering. Immediately we shared the grace. He came to meet me and said, when are you going to produce a film for the North? We are suffering a lot from the North. We're going through a lot of things. We should have drama and everything. And that was just the starting point. I was like, no.
Wow. It's just like at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established. So that was established.
That was the establishing point.
So what was the process of the writing?
Yeah, so the inspiration comes. From the inspiration for me, then the first thing I do is to just summarize it. I summarize as it comes to me, I just summarize it. I don't just go straight to the writing itself. So from the summarizing, of course, the inspiration comes with prayers. You just have to pray and you just have to receive and have a more definite picture of what God is.
How do you deal with the distractions going on in your mind and all that stuff?
It's one of the hardest things to do, to be sincere, is to build up a story. Is to build up the message. It can be very difficult. The reason is because of the distractions. Instagram and all these things can just distract you. So one of the things you do, what I do sometimes is I shut off. Sometimes I deliberately put those things aside, and I always have a good spot, a good timing where I receive easily. Usually it's early in the morning, so I don't joke with that time at all. When God gives me the message between the hours of like 6 in the morning to like 12, those are the time it flows. From 12 upwards, it's always slowed down, you know. So what I did, I just add the summary of everything. First of all, after getting the summary, then I broke it down into different scenes. So then I started the writing, and it was just coming like that, gradually.
Hold on there. Stay tuned, viewers. Damilola Mike Bamiloye is on the set and in the house on Spiritual Rhapsody. We'll be back and he'll tell us more about not only writing, directing as a gospel movie director.
Karaki Town is a small town, not recognized on the state map. It is 90 kilometers away from the state capital. We're predominantly Christians. We love God and we love each other. We don't have everything, but we have shared everything. Farmers, fishermen, traders, teachers, and we've all lived as one. But one day,
Manikwa General Ubandawa ina da wasu aljani a cikina.
Hello viewers, welcome back to Spiritual Rhapsodies. We still have Damilola Mike Bamiloye in the house. So, you were telling us about
the experiences,
the experiences and the various times.
Right.
Like in the morning, some writers tell me it's only at night and I have to get to a mountain to sit down and write. You know, you see, because you have different schools of, different schools of thought.
Yeah.
You know, some have to tell you that they need coffee, they need, you know.
Like I said, that initially I started copying that this time.
Yeah, right.
You know, so as I was copying, it went on for a while. Then one day, someone told me to write the script for the drama group. So he read the script. He said, "This is someone Zion's." He looked at me and said, "This is someone Zion now."
Oh, right. Oh, someone actually told you that this is. How did you feel? You felt, they said, that you're a copycat. You felt yourself looking like a copycat. No, but you started like that as a copycat.
So I added the elderly man, old man aspect. The old man, it was a story about somebody who was unfaithful. So I added old man,
right.
The old man commanding the something, do the right thing. So like, we've seen this drama before.
Okay, right. So you now had to fit into your generation.
Exactly.
So you had to step out and say, this is daddy's own generation.
Point for me.
All right.
That was the modeling point for me.
All right. So how did you get to that point? Once that process, I mean, what did it take you? Did you have to think that, look, I need to be focusing for my own generation, my own age mates and all that stuff?
Yeah, I think that actually influenced my first film, Youthful Lust. So I knew when I was going to write Youthful Lust, it's not going to be like from my dad's perspective, because I was always put myself in my dad's shoes. That helped a lot because it gave me the foundation to which I was able to build so many things. But after myself, I said, I'm not going to write like that. I have to write in a different style now. So I tried to fit myself in my generation, as you said. So that kind of modeled the way I wrote for Youthful Lust. But as I grew, I discovered that my writing kind of it was changing in a way. Like when I was in secondary school, I wrote Youthful Lust. When I entered service,
you wrote Fiwajomi. Yeah.
When I entered service, I wrote Shadows of Death.
Shadows of Death. In your youth service, you went down there, and that was something you did. Shadows of Death was something you did in, was it Imo State?
NYSC, Imo State. Yeah.
Imo State.
Yes, that's another experience.
Yeah.
That one, I was writing my final paper. When God arrested me, I said He wants me to write a message for my youth service. Now
wait a minute. You wrote that script before you went
to university. Before I entered
youth service. You wrote it in your. Oh wow! So that means you.
Different experience.
You projected along.
Yes.
You were projecting ahead, rather.
If God doesn't arrest you like that, you will not be able to. So it's all about God.
When you say God arrests you, did He bring gun out? Did anybody come?
More like
no, tell me. Explain to the people. Because when you say God, did He give you ticket? Did you get ticket?
It's really spiritual. It's deep.
Right.
It's like, okay, I was writing my final papers. We are preparing for the final paper. That's the final exam I was going to write. Okay, and so. 30 minutes to the exam, that's the period, that's the best time to assimilate. The last minute cramming.
Right.
That's where every student enjoy cramming and everything.
Yes, the last minute they want to enter.
That's the best time to really.
Yes, the fire brigade. Fire brigade approach. Yeah.
I started cramming and everything, but I couldn't cram. The only thing as I opened my book to read, the only thing I was seeing is the narrative of
a film.
Shadows of Death.
Shadows of Death. Its script was being downloaded.
It was like, as I'm opening my book, all I'm seeing in my mind is how scene 1 is going to be, how scene 2 is going to be, how scene 3. So I put that aside. I put my book aside.
The right thing coming at the wrong time.
So
not so now. Annoying. So is it, this inspiration is it a distraction,
And I know the thing about inspiration is that when it comes, I like to arrest it.
Yes, but otherwise it disappears.
It can disappear.
Yeah.
So I was putting that. I said, scene 1. I went back to my book again. I was reading. The thing was, that's why I said God arrested me.
Right.
I couldn't just do any of that
right.
I put down.
So you saw that inspiration coming was actually from God.
Exactly.
Coming. So sometimes, because sometimes we don't know when God is talking to us.
Exactly.
We don't know. We think suddenly, this is me.
Yeah, exactly.
But God might actually be talking to you at a point in time through your thoughts.
Obviously it wasn't me, because if it was me, I could control it. I could say, I'm not doing this again. Let me just focus on my reading. But it was coming so strong, so I had to write it. And as I was trying to read, I couldn't read. All I was imagining, all I was saying was a picture of Shadows of Death, some people going to a strange land, being challenged in different things.
And you did not know where you were going to do your youth service. And you are not even because you are not even because you are doing your exam.
I was doing my exam.
And you had to pass that exam to go for your youth service. You understand? So God was actually telling you, look, I've got this exam, you're going to go ahead, going to work for me in another land. That's actually how, yes, that's what was happening. Yeah, he was saying, don't worry about it. You see, because at times, as human beings, we focus on what we're about to do, but God sees a bigger picture. I'm preparing you for something bigger.
Yes.
And that was one time that really expounded your writing ministry and, going to Imo State and shooting.
Because I didn't even know I was going to be like, I didn't know how youth service was. I was writing, immediately I finished writing the synopsis, then we had like 10 minutes to exam. So that's when I could actually read some things, So I wrote the exam, I didn't pass in flying colors, but actually.
But you passed.
But I passed.
You are here now. You passed. I want to ask you, what did you study in the university?
Mass communication.
You studied mass communication at Bowen University, right?
University.
All right. Would you say what you learned in university is you're practicing it right now?
No, I'm not practicing it. In a way, in the sense that mass communication is wide.
Right.
No, what we are doing now is mass communication.
Right.
Everything. The knowledge is in a way, but it's not. It didn't have a firm grip on what I'm doing now. Like some people, they study mass communication and they are journalists. They are, they are media practitioners. But in a way, my own is quite different.
Yeah.
In a way, sometimes I wish I went to a film school.
Yeah, because actually film is part of, the wide, it's part of mass communication. But I think what you had a broad knowledge of communication, because you are actually, you're actually communicating to the mass public.
True. I said, in a way, it's mass communication what I'm doing.
Right, but you are communicating with gospel mass communication,
exactly.
Right?
So, experiences, that's what influenced Shadows of Death. So I got to service with the mindset that I'm going to enter a drama group in NYSC. So I joined NCCF. So NCCF.
What is NCCF?
NCCF is
Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship. Yes, I was part of NCCF too. Yes, I was part of the Nigerian Christian Corpus Fellowship. I was the first drama director in my state that time.
Amazing.
But we're talking about you right now. No, I should talk about you. No. You're telling me about your experience. When I come on your show, you're gonna tell. But this one, how was your experience in Imo State?
Amazing. So I was hoping I would be a drama group, but I didn't show it. All we do as executives, as people. They called me as proposed executive, but I was hoping, praying out
that you've been drama.
Yeah, drama group. Although when they finally announced my name, I actually played the humble part. Like me? I wanted it, I desired it.
Oh, you had to act the part, so you will look like
because are proud. It's like this proud brother. So most time people that come on fellowship that time they call your names. People breaking down in tears.
Tears, oh God! You see, it's the point where we believe that if you want something, don't say you want it.
No, don't say it.
And thank God. Actually, you want it. But they will call people for the fellowship, say the executives.
Some people will be crying.
They will be crying. Come on. Come on. That's all fake, man. You want just say, God, thank you for this.
Because I knew without it, I can't shoot the film.
Yeah, you see, because a lot of people don't know the NYSC that happens in Africa, in Nigeria, is a very, very strategic tool. They call it a National Youth Service Corps, but we know it's Nigerian Youth Serving Christ.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why that theme is still standing today. Exactly. And it is one of the kudos that the Gowon military government did. Yeah. And so that was a very strong point in your development as a writer and as a minister, right?
It was.
So you went ahead. How did you gather the people that time?
No, because the beauty of NCCF is that the base is there. The people are there already.
Right.
So, and they are everywhere in the states, that different local governments.
Yeah, so the entire state.
After I became the drama director, I collaborated I worked together with the former, we call them DD, the former drama director.
Yes.
So together, we mobilized everybody from different local governments. We were able to make it work. So without that, there was no way I could have been able to mobilize people. I mean, who do I know in most states?
Yeah, right.
Another amazing thing that happened was that I contacted Dad, so Dad brought the crew from West, from Oyo State,
and everybody went there, and it was a massive, wonderful thing.
So that's a different experience. Now, leaving NYSC and starting gospel filmmaking full time now. I think my first work was. Now
I want to ask you this question before we round up. Now, today you're working with the Mount Zion Faith Ministry. You work as the director of operations, right?
Directors, director, writer,
Yeah. How come when you left university, you didn't go into a job or anything? You just went straight to this?
Yeah, that's the thing about God. God will have been preparing you from time. Like the secondary school, the university, were all preparation. Was it like for most men of God, for example, now? God, most generals that we have in ground now, like Daddy Udipo, like Daddy Arosiola, God has been preparing them from school. So the school, the university, the NYC, this is a preparation ground.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, most of the time you end up being what God has prepared you to do in school. So for me, God has prepared me in secondary school, He has prepared me in university. Now coming out, I already knew that this is definitely it's like a flow. You just
and you were not put under pressure or anything. Nobody, Daddy didn't tell you at any point that this is what you're going to do.
Daddy wanted me to do masters. I told my friend when I was writing.
Daddy actually wanted you to do masters.
But I told my friend when I was writing my last exam that this is the last exam I'm going to write. My friend looked at me and said, "I lie, guy, you will do masters because it's a trend. You must do masters." But as I was writing that exam, after that experience of the clash, writing and everything, I told my friend, not everybody is going to walk in this path. This is the last exam I'm going to write. So I dropped my pen. They didn't believe me. So when I God wanted me to do masters, I didn't want to do masters. I just want to enter full time and start work and start this thing, start doing work for God and everything. So He wanted me. I said, no, it's not my way. No, He wanted me.
But how long have you been doing this right now?
I have not really sat down to actually calculate it. Okay, I finished school.
How long have you been doing? Yeah, this is about almost
11.
This is almost 10 years you're doing
almost
it.
10 years.
Yeah. Now, do you have any regrets today?
That's all, sir.
Do you have any regrets you don't have a master's?
No, there's no regret.
Are you sure?
There's no regret.
Master's is a big degree, you don't know?
It's a big degree, but
let me tell you what, you can't have a regret because you're actually doing a better master's. You are doing the work of the master.
Yeah, exactly.
You are doing the work of the master. If you don't have a master's degree, but keep doing the work of the masters, that is the greatest master's degree.
I like that.
Damilola Mike Bamiloye, it's
so
an honor and a pleasure to have you on Spiritual Rhapsodies. I want you to say something to the people at home. Give them a final word, because I know there are so many young boys, young girls, young ladies, people who have gifts that God has put inside them. And they are looking, how are we going to fulfill this? They have so many challenges, they have so many things hindering them. Give them a word of encouragement.
Yeah, so my word of encouragement for everyone out there is, see, life without Christ is in crisis. So first of all, you have to know your Creator, because He's the one that understands the purpose of your living. So if you don't know God, if you don't have a firm relationship with Jesus Christ, there's no how you can have an understanding of your purpose and the reason for your living. So that's the basics. That's the most important thing. So knowing God gives you the enabling factor to understand why you are created, and living in life, working in your creation, working in your purpose for living is the best life to live. So know God, and that's my final.
Thank you very much, Damilola, for being part of this Spiritual Rhapsodies.
Thank you so
Viewers, until we come your way again, stay focused and remember, your best years are ahead of you, not behind you. God bless you. It's me, Elvon Jarrett, saying peace and love.